3 News Video on Demand, sponsored by Kia. More car for your money.
Labor has taken the issue of John Key's popularity into its own hands and given him an old-fashioned hiding in Parliament. In a sustained attack, it's highlighted his comments on the Iraq War, claiming he's changed his position and isn't credible on the issue. Political editor Duncan Garner joins us live from Parliament. Duncan.
Good evening, Hilary. Well, it certainly was a ferocious attack by the Labor Party in Parliament today, and it appeared John Key had few ideas on how to handle it.
It's the most sheepish John Key's looked since he arrived in Parliament 5 years ago. And that's what happens when you're under a sustained and premeditated assault from Labor over credibility.
Either Mr Key has a defective memory, or simply he's not telling the truth to disguise his poor judgment and yet another flip-flop.
At issue what Key has said on the Iraq War. In an interview in 2003, he suggested National would have sent troops with the US and Britain, saying blood is thicker than water and we should stick with the family, which has supported us in the past and will support us in the future. But on Campbell Live this year, he suggested he was against sending troops.
Would you send troops to Iraq now?
Well, no, not now. And our position was we always supported the coalition of the Willing's right to go to Iraq, but our caucus didn't support sending troops there.
And it wasn't your personal view they should have gone? OK.
And that contradiction has Labor crowing.
That does not stack up with your subsequent claims, Mr Key, that you would not have committed troops to Iraq, and you know it.
Key was squirming uncomfortably throughout the attack. He didn't know what to do, stay silent, grin, or stand and defend himself. He then looked like he wanted to, but he didn't, despite Goff's goading.
It'd take a point of order, Mr Key, and I'll table the report to show you haven't been telling the truth.
Helen Clark sat there enjoying every second, pretending her hands were clean. But it was obvious much thought had gone into this, and even Key's slip in the weekend over which party he would lead was mentioned.
Under a Labor government, I lead.
More recently, he's been under some illusion he's a member of the Labor Party.
No.
And still, Key sat through it like a startled rabbit or perhaps roadkill. But there was more. Labor weaving in an admission by National MP Tim Grosser that he used to smoke marijuana.
He was taking the advice from his colleague Tim Grosser, and may he have been taking anything else as well.
And if he hadn't taken a pounding then, Annette King jumped in for the final dust-up.
He said he would and he could. Then later he said he couldn't and he wouldn't. And later still he said he couldn't because he wouldn't.
So the honeymoon for Key appears well and truly over.
Well, Duncan, why has Labor decided that now's the time to attack John Key?
Well, quite frankly, Hilary, they've decided that his honeymoon has gone on far too long, and they also thought that he had a very average conference, National Party conference in the weekend, so they decided today was the day to go for him. Don't forget, they have done a lot of work over the last few months, just going through some of the details that John Key has said in the past, some of the quotes that he's made to papers and television stations and radio stations around the country. So, look, they've done a lot of work on this. What Labor has purposely done is keep Helen Clark out of it. Remember a couple of years ago when she attacked Brash for being callous and cancerous, that backfired on her. So they've certainly kept Helen Clark away from this, but make no mistake, this has been given the green light from the 9th floor here at the Beehive. Helen Clark knew all about it. National could have done better today. They knew the question was coming and they should have been better prepared.
Duncan, thank you.